Okay, this is a quick example video of creating a layout using InDesign, a magazine layout, which you maybe use for your case studies. So we'll find InDesign in the Adobe Creative Suite, Master Collection CS6, and it's just down here. Okay, we're going to create a new document, and in this case it's going to be just one page, but you might choose to put 2 pages for a magazine spread. And then I'm going to click the columns up to either 3 or 5, which is quite standard for a magazine layout or a newspaper layout. I'm going to leave everything else as standard. Okay. The next one I'm going to do is going to change the units, which are currently in pickers and points, which are units grounded in typography and typesetting, and put something a little bit more meaningful these days. So preferences, units and increments. Horizontal will be in millimeters, vertical will be in millimeters, and the origin spread or page make any difference in this case. Okay, and so from now on everything's measured from the top left corner here. You should want to find out the size of anything. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to add some text, add an image, and do a few little things to make an interesting layout. The first thing would be to create some text columns. So I select the text tool, and I think I'm going to have a heading which comes across the top here, and I'll just move that up with the move tool. And then double click on it. I can put some text in it. So in this case I'll put right, the price is case study. I'll highlight that text on the top of the screen. You'll notice that you've got all your usual paragraph and character options. So currently it's left aligned. It's set 12 points, but I think I'm going to go for something a little bit larger. A little bit shorter. And that'll do for now until later on. Okay. I'm just going to adjust the size of the box to be roughly the right size for the text. Then with the text tool again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some columns. Now, 5 columns is probably a little bit too narrow for an A4 page normally, but as we're only illustrating principles, that's fine. You'll notice that when you hover over guides, the guides that are created by the number of columns being selected at the start, this then allows you to snap to that. Okay, currently the top edges aren't aligned, but that's not a problem. I'll just take them right up to the same height as the heading for now. Okay, so one of the first principles is importing text. You can do by simple copy and paste methods into a text area, and I'm just going to use a website to generate some text. So what I'm looking for is something called lorem ipsum, which is essentially just meaningless text, but it's quite useful for putting dummy text into layouts, say for websites or for an article in this example. So I copy and paste that, double clicking on the text box that I want to put it into, and then Ctrl V to paste it in. The next thing I need to do is then to select this little plus point at the bottom of the screen, and you'll notice that my cursor changes from an arrow into a little representation of text. So I click on the next box, and if I do it again, to the next, and to the next, and to the next. I've done just about enough to fill all of the boxes. So currently it looks probably a little bit like a newsletter. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some images. So I'll quickly create a rectangular box. Say for instance it's going to go across these columns here. And that's just an empty box currently just a shell, which by default is meant to hold pictures, but you can set it to hold text as well. And then I'm going to go to File, to Place, and I'll find an image that I've got ready. In this case, I'm just going to use some of the sample pictures available on the operating system. Okay, so like opening that. If I double click on it, I'll then see an orange boundary box which shows me the size of the actual image. Inside of that hold-in area, which I can reduce the size of the image inside of it so it becomes more meaningful. There we go. And just a little bit further with the hand I can move it across inside of there. So then I can have an image which is cropped in a little bit. I'll just select off, and then if I reselect that image, I can then alter the way that text flows around it. So notice how everything reflows based on that. I can also make the box a little bit bigger. Try and force that text out a little bit. There we go. That's spaced out a little bit more. But obviously you might not position an image just quite in that way because you don't want to get single lines like that. But given that we will probably put a subheading up there, then that's fine. And you notice the whole text responds based on where I position that image currently. And so I could do the same thing again. I could create an elliptical or circular shape like this. And I could insert an image in there by going place and koala. Okay. Double click on that. Good. To allow me to resize the actual image inside of it and position it again. And then I can reposition that wherever I want it to be. And the same thing again, I can have it roll around the edge of the shape as such. And those are the basic principles of creating a newsletter layout, magazine layout using InDesign. Okay.